You ever sit in silence, no distractions, no music, no phone, just you and your thoughts, and feel like something's off? Like this version of you? It's not the full picture. It's not who you were meant to be. Not even close. You feel it. Deep down, you already know. There's this tension in your chest. Like something inside you is locked up, screaming to come out. But you keep hitting snooze. You keep brushing it off. You keep telling yourself, maybe later, maybe next week, maybe when I'm ready. But what if I told you this? You'll never feel fully ready. You'll never wake up one day and magically become the best version of yourself. That version has to be built, brick by brick, sweat by sweat, day by day. Right now, what you're living, it's survival mode, going through the motions, getting by, ticking boxes. But you weren't built for it just enough. You weren't meant to stay small. There's more inside you than anyone has seen, even you. But here's the realest thing I can say to you right now. You can't carry both versions of yourself into your future. There's a you who shows up late, scrolls too long, talks a big game but doesn't act. And there's the you who wakes up hungry, locks in, does the hard stuff, and moves like they've got a fire in their chest. Only one of them gets to live. And that decision, that line in the sand, it's yours. Because let's be honest, you weren't born weak. You became that way by feeding the wrong habits. You weren't born lazy. You just stopped believing your effort mattered. You weren't born afraid. You just learned to settle over and over again until it became normal. But that voice inside you, the one that says, I want more, that's not arrogance. That's truth. That's your gut pulling you toward the life you were supposed to be living. The stronger, sharper, more focused version of you. That's not a fantasy. That's the real you. You've just got a bunch of noise covering it up. Distractions, fear, procrastination, comfort, comparison. All that mental clutter that's been running your life behind the scenes. It's time to shut it down. This is the moment where you stop accepting average. This is the moment where you stop telling yourself you're stuck. Because you're not stuck, you're stagnant. There's a difference. Stuck means no options. Stagnant means you stop moving. And guess what? You can move again. Right now, with one choice, one change, one moment of deciding, I'm done being a version of me that never fully showed up. That old version of you, the weak version, that's not you anymore. That's who you used to be. And if you're hearing this right now, if this is hitting home, that means some part of you is done with the excuses. Done with the waiting, done with dragging around dead weight that doesn't belong in your future. You've got more power than you've been using. You've got more heart than you've been showing. You've got more life to live than the one you've been sleepwalking through. And I get it. I know it's hard. It's hard to change when you've lived so long in a cycle that feels safe. But easy isn't what changes you. Hard is what transforms you. Discipline is what frees you. Focus is what lifts you. And ownership, brutal, honest ownership, is what wakes you up. And the truth is, this version of you, the one that keeps playing small, doesn't need to be fixed. It needs to be left behind, buried, done, because your next level requires a different mindset, a different energy, a different standard. And nobody's coming to give that to you. No one's showing up to hand you motivation on a silver platter. You either decide to kill that weaker version of you, or you keep living under it. That's the fork in the road. That's where we're standing right now. So if you're watching this, hearing this, and something inside of you is lighting up, good. That's not hype. That's clarity. That's your future self knocking on the door saying, come get me, because this isn't who you were meant to be. You were meant to rise. You were meant to lead. You were meant to walk like your steps matter. Because they do. So take a breath, say goodbye to who you were, and get ready to meet the version of you that's been dying to take over. I don't even have to describe them. You already know. That weak version of you? Yeah, them. That version who had snooze over and over again, even though they promised they'd start waking up early. The one who talks about all the things they're gonna do, but never actually does them. The one who binge watches motivational videos and then goes right back to scrolling Instagram for hours. The version that gets inspired for a minute and then disappears for a week. The version of you who settles, who plays small, who keeps waiting for the perfect time that never comes, who says next month, after the holidays, or when things slow down. You know exactly who I'm talking about, because you've been them. You've lived in their skin. You've made excuses for them. You protected them, justified them, kept them safe. But deep down, you've also been fighting them. And that's where the real battle is, right? It's not out there in the world. It's not with other people. It's not with money, circumstances, or luck. It's in your own head. It's between the part of you that's comfortable and the part of you that's hungry. And I know this might sound harsh, but that version of you, that soft, quiet, self-doubting version, they're not going to survive the life you're trying to build. Because that life, the one you dream about, the one where you're confident, driven, respected, successful, free, that life takes a version of you that doesn't flinch, that doesn't hesitate, that doesn't crack every time it gets a little hard. And the version you've been holding on to, they flinch, they fold, they complain, they hide, they shrink when it's time to step up. And here's the thing, that version was necessary. Yeah, I said it. That weak version of you served a purpose. They helped you survive. They kept you comfortable when life felt too heavy. They gave you excuses to rest when you were burnt out and tired and didn't believe in yourself anymore. But now, that version has become your anchor. It's not helping you anymore. It's holding you back, dragging you into habits that don't serve you, making you question yourself when you know you're built for more. And I'm not saying you have to hate that version. I'm saying it's time to outgrow them. It's time to stop feeding them. Stop giving them the steering wheel. Because you don't need another inspirational video to feel good. You need a line in the sand. You need a decision. A clear final, I'm done. Done letting the past write your future. Done repeating cycles that never take you anywhere. Done staying stuck in a version of yourself that doesn't match your vision. And you might be thinking, but I've been like this for years. Cool. Doesn't matter. You can stay there for 5 more years if you want. But I'm telling you right now, nothing changes until you get real with the person in the mirror and say, this isn't me anymore. Because you can post all the quotes. You can journal about your dreams. You can talk to your friends about how you're working on yourself. But if you're still living like that same weak version, you're not changing. You're delaying. You know what strength looks like? Strength is deleting the apps that waste your time. Strength is saying no to things that used to comfort you, but now just distract you. Strength is choosing the hard option every day until it becomes your new normal. Strength is silence, focus, consistency, discipline, not hype, not emotion, habits. And the beautiful part, that strong version of you, the one you keep visualizing, they're already in there, waiting, watching, ready. But they can't rise while the weak version is still in control. You have to choose who wins. Every single day. Not once. Not when you feel motivated. Not when you get time. Every single day. And don't tell me you can't do it. You've been through worse. You survived stuff most people don't even know about. You fought battles in silence that almost broke you. So don't you dare say you can't. Say what you really mean. I haven't committed yet. And if that's the truth, cool. Now's your moment. No judgment. Just choice. This is your shot to finally silence that weak version. Not with hate, not with shame, but with action. Star the old habits. Star the excuses. Star the soft voice that says, take it easy. Feed the discipline. Feed the fire. Feed the version of you that walks like their future is worth fighting for. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Now, go become them. Stop waiting to be ready. Seriously, stop. How many dreams have you put off because you were getting everything in place first? How many mornings have you told yourself, not today, but soon? How many times have you said, I'm not ready yet, when deep down what you meant was, I'm scared? The idea that you have to feel ready to take action? It's a lie, a comfortable one, but still a lie. No one's ready when they start. Not the athlete before their first game. not the speaker before their first speech, not the business owner before they launched, not the creator who hit record for the first time, heart pounding like crazy. Every single person you admire, they started unready, they started unsure, they started with shaky hands and self-doubt in their chest. But they started, and that's the difference. You're not stuck because you're unprepared. You're stuck because you're waiting to feel prepared. And that moment may never come. Because being ready, that's not a feeling. Being ready is a decision. It's not about having all the steps. It's about having the courage to take the first one. Let's be real. If we all waited until we felt ready, nothing would get done. Nobody would write the book. Nobody would take the first step in the gym. Nobody would go after the dream. Readiness is a myth created by fear to keep you safe. But safe isn't the goal. Growth is. Change is. Becoming is. And becoming doesn't happen in the thinking. It happens in the doing. You don't build confidence from preparing forever. You build confidence by doing scared. You walking unsure. You make mistakes. You fumble through the awkward, messy first phase. And slowly, brick by brick, you start to build something real. You want to kill the weak version of you? Start showing up before you feel like it. Start speaking up before your voice is steady. Start showing the world and yourself that you're not here to wait your way into greatness. You're here to work your way into it. That weak version of you wants guarantees, wants a perfect plan, wants to know how it's all going to play out. But the strong version of you, the one that's buried underneath the excuses and fear, they're willing to go in blind. They're willing to take the shot without knowing if they'll hit. They're willing to look foolish, to fall flat, to get up and go again, because they know momentum, perfection, action, overthinking, starting messy, never starting at all. And here's the wild part. The moment you start, everything changes. Not because it suddenly gets easier, but because you start changing. You stop seeing yourself as someone who wants to try. You start becoming someone who is already doing. You stop talking about who you want to be. You start showing the world who you already are becoming. Even one small step, one change, one rep, one day of showing up. That's how it begins. You don't need to know all the answers. You don't need a 10-step plan or a mentor or the perfect moment. You just need one thing, to move. Because motion creates progress. Progress creates belief. And belief, that's when you start to get dangerous. The people who actually build a life they want, they don't wait until it feels right. They make it right by taking action and adjusting as they go. Start now. Start with what you have. Start with who you are, even if that person doesn't feel like enough. Because the person you're becoming, they're watching. They're waiting. They're hoping you stop stalling and begin. You want confidence? Earn it. You want clarity? Walk into the unknown and find it. You want power? Step into the fear and claim it. It's not about hype. It's not about motivation. It's about building a fire that doesn't need permission to burn. You don't have to feel powerful. You just have to take the step anyway. Right now, you're standing at the edge of two lives. One where you keep waiting for something to change, and one where you realize it's you. You're the change, but only if you stop waiting to be ready and start walking anyway. There's a version of you that doesn't flinch when it gets hard. A version of you that doesn't beg for permission, doesn't ask for motivation, and doesn't apologize for wanting more. You know who I'm talking about. That part of you that's been quiet for too long. That savage, that fighter, that focused, relentless, no more excuses beast that lives deep inside you. They've been watching, waiting, getting tired of the delay. Because life has been softening you. Distractions, comfort, excuses. You've been tricked into thinking it's okay to settle, to stay small, stay safe, stay realistic. But here's the truth. That savage version of you isn't gone. They're just asleep, and it's time to wake them the hell up. Because you weren't built for average. You weren't built to just survive. You weren't made to sit on the sidelines of your own damn life, while fear and procrastination run the show. You got a fire in you that's been burning under the surface this whole time. And you know it. You feel it every time you talk yourself out of going all in. You feel it when you scroll for hours instead of chasing your goals. You feel it when you say, "I'll start tomorrow for the 100th time." That inner savage, they're sick of your comfort zone. They want war with your weaknesses. They want to destroy your laziness. They want to shut down every lie you've ever told yourself about not being good enough. And waking them up doesn't take a miracle. It takes one decision. The decision to stop playing soft with your own potential. To stop pretending that your time here is unlimited. To stop letting the voice of fear be louder than the voice of purpose. You want to see what you're really made of? Start doing the hard things you usually avoid. Start doing the stuff that scares the old version of you. Wake up early. Show up when it's hard. Work when it's uncomfortable. Go when you feel like quitting. Because every time you do, that inner savage gets stronger. They start coming back to life. You're not weak. You're not lazy. You've just been quieting your own power for way too long. You've been feeding the wrong voice, the one that wants easy wins, instant gratification, and no discomfort. But now it's time to flip that switch. Start feeding the part of you that's hungry. Hungry for more. Hungry for change. Hungry to win. That savage, they don't care if it's hard. They want it to be hard. Because they know if it's easy, it doesn't change you. And you didn't come this far to stay the same. You didn't make it through what you've been through just to stay stuck. You've overcome too much to let fear be the boss now. You survived pain, setbacks, failure, heartbreak, and you're still standing. So don't tell me you don't have what it takes. You're already proof of power. The only thing missing is this. You haven't gone savage on your excuses yet. You haven't turned the dial up and said, "Enough, I'm done being soft with myself." You haven't looked in the mirror and said, "Today's the day I stop being who I've been and start becoming who I'm meant to be." You want to become unstoppable? Unchain that savage. Unleash the part of you that doesn't ask how long it'll take. They just start moving. The part that doesn't negotiate with weakness. The part that keeps going even when nobody is clapping for you. Because greatness, it's not born in the spotlight. It's born in the grind, in the dark, when nobody's watching but you. You don't need to talk about what you're going to do anymore. You don't need a vision board or a hype song or another podcast. You need to move. Wake up the savage. Let them lead for once. Push your limits. Train your mind. Get uncomfortable. And every time you feel like giving up, remind yourself, this is who I really am. I'm not fragile. I'm not stuck. I'm not small. I'm a savage. And I'm done sleeping on myself. So stop playing defense in your own story. It's time to go full offense. No more waiting. No more doubting. No more maybe tomorrow. This is your moment to become unrecognizable. To kill the weak version of you. To step into the identity that was always there. The one you buried under fear. Wake them up. The world's been waiting. You've seen it now. You felt it. That old version of you. The one full of doubt, excuses, fears, and hesitation. They've had their run. But that chapter is closed. And now it's time to bury them. Not with regret. Not with shame. But with gratitude. Because even the weak version of you, they got you this far. But they can't take you any further. That version of you was built for survival. The new version of you, that one's built to thrive. So go ahead, say goodbye to the old mindset. The one that said, "I'm not ready." The one that waited for motivation. The one that needed validation from everyone else before moving. You're not that person anymore. The new you takes action. The new you gets back up. The new you doesn't beg for confidence. They build it. You're done sitting in the passenger seat of your life. Now it's your hands on the wheel. It's your foot on the gas. You're the author now. You're the creator now. And from this moment on, you don't try to become something new. You build it brick by brick with consistency, fire, and zero apologies. This isn't about being perfect. This is about being real with yourself and choosing growth over comfort, purpose over fear, and discipline over doubt. You were never stuck. You were never broken. You were just waiting for a moment like this to wake up and realize who you could be if you stopped living like the old you was all there ever was. So dig deep, bury what's no longer serving you. Mourn it if you have to, then move forward. because the real work begins now. The new you won't build itself. And greatness doesn't come to the ones who think about it. It comes to the ones who do something about it. And if this message sparks something in you, don't just walk away and forget it. Hit that like button, not for the algorithm, but as a promise to yourself. Drop a comment below with, "I'm building the new me." If you're really about this life, subscribe for more real, raw motivation every single week, because this journey doesn't stop here. And turn on the notification bell so you never miss the fuel that keeps you going. Now, go build that new you with every rep, every early morning, every hard choice, every "I don't feel like it, but I'm doing it anyway." The old you is gone, the savage is awake, and your next chapter starts right now.